Hi guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's lesson we're going to learn French and we're going to learn the imperative mood. The imperative mood is conjugated as similarly to the present tense, only that we omit the subject pronouns. So instead of saying tu parles or nous parlons or vous parlez, we say directly parle, parlons, parlez. You can also see that I've included only three of the subject pronouns conjugations, right? That is because the imperative mood, unlike the present tense, it is only conjugated with the subject pronouns tu, nous, and vous. So you have only three forms available for as a conjugation for the imperative mood. When would you use such a tense? Such a tense is used when giving out orders or suggestions. For example, if you are to tell a taxi driver where you want to go, you would say conduisez-moi, take me, à la bibliothèque, ou à la gare, ou à quelque lieu, right? Take me somewhere, or take me to the library, take me to the train station, and so on and so forth. Now, in the next slide, we're going to see some particularities. We're going to start first by going through the irregular verbs that can be conjugated in the imperative form. There are only five. And then we're going to go through some particularities that you may encounter when using the imperative to make a sentence. As I've already mentioned, there are only five verbs that are irregular: aller, avoir, être, savoir, and vouloir. Now, we're going to take them one by one and pronounce them. Aller becomes va, allons, aller. Avoir becomes est, ayons, ayez. Être becomes sois, soyons, soyez. Savoir becomes sache, sachons, sachez. Vouloir becomes veuille, veuillons, veuillez. We also need to know what they mean. In case you don't know, aller means to go, avoir means to have, être means to be, savoir means to know, vouloir means to want. Now pay attention, because it is important when conjugating reflexive verbs, so verbs for which the action is made upon oneself. There are some problematics to be made when conjugating in the affirmative form or in the negative form. In the affirmative form, we would use stressed pronouns or tonic pronouns in order to make a sentence. So, the stressed pronoun is moi, toi, lui, elle, nous, vous, eux, elle. And they are connected by a hyphen to the verb that is conjugated in the imperative mood. Such as a verb is se laver, which means to wash yourself. So, in the affirmative mood, in the affirmative form, you would say lave-toi, which would mean wash yourself. But if you are going to negate it, you're going to actually be using instead of a stressed pronoun, the reflexive pronoun in itself. So you're going to say ne te lave pas, ou ne vous lavez pas, ou ne nous lavons pas, right? So, stressed pronouns versus reflexive pronouns. We use stressed pronouns only when conjugating a verb that is reflexive in the affirmative form. We use reflexive pronouns to conjugate the the reflexive verbs in the negative form. So that would be one observation. We have another to make. The other one, before we go to a special quiz that I've prepared for you, is with a relation to the adverbial pronoun e. Because if we use e after an imperative that ends with a vowel, such as happens to be the case of va, which comes from the verb aller, we have pronunciation problems. It does not sound right to say va-i, right? It's easier, however, to add an s at the end and to obtain vas-i, vas-i, okay? And you see that due to the hyphen, we also have a liaison. We also have basically uh, a case where the pronunciation becomes easier and the S at the end becomes pronounced as Z, vazi. And obviously, the same also happens for allons, right? We're going to have, instead of allons I, we're going to pronounce allons-y. And the hyphen rule still remains also when using it with, using the imperative with E after. All right. So that was it for this lesson, but don't forget to subscribe for more lessons like this and to also make the quiz. And I'll be expecting your answers in the comments because I want to see if you really understood the concept. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me down in the comments and I will try my best to answer them all for you. And now the first question. The correct translation of shut up from English to French. To shut up, we say it se taire is 1. Tu te tais. 2. Tais-toi. 3. Tais-tu. Question number 2. We use the to connect the imperative with the adverbial pronoun e, which means of it or there. 1. We use the comma. 2. We use the dot. Or 3. We use the hyphen. And lastly, the correct translation of don't wake up is ne te réveille pas, ne réveille-toi pas, or ne pas te réveille.